Hey guys, Coach here. Hey, this week I'll reveal some of the professional landscaper designer tips and processes that will help you streamline your contemplation and starting a landscape project. This was my bread and butter for years, and I am letting you in on how I started a project for a customer and how you can do the same thing. So stay with me. I'm glad you're here. You know, before I retired, pros like myself used to charge many dollars for landscaping. And it is an expensive venture when you think about it. The cost of all the materials and labor and everything it takes to do business. Be glad you have this resource at hand and save it for future reference and to watch it more than once. In addition, if you stay until the end of this video, I have a very valuable resource for you that I know you and friends and family will want to have in your hands. So stick with me on that. Hey, I'm Matt. You can call me Coach. Every week I bring you landscape tips, tricks, and design concepts in an easy to understand format so you can tackle projects yourself, get the landscape results you want, and be more self-reliant and save a lot of money in the process. So you have bought a brand new home, or you have bought a new home to you, but it's an existing home. Maybe you have been in the home you're in now for a period of time, and it is time to do a landscape makeover to improve the function, improve the value, and the aesthetics of the yard and neighborhood. Big frog to eat, huh? Big commitment to make, right? Depending on how much you will tackle yourself. For me, over the last 2+ decades, I made a very good living from those folks who could not or would not do the landscape makeover themselves or install a brand new landscape. They were just happy writing a check and watching from the patio slider as the process took shape. Thank God for folks like that. There will always have to be some folks like this because otherwise there would be no need for guys like me and all the other landscape professionals that exist. Plus the industry, you know, that provides all the materials, plant material, hardscape materials, and everything for contractors like myself. Surely a billion-dollar industry throughout America and a whole lot more dollars globally. But for folks like you who are considering saving a boatload of money, I have a few tips for you so you can accomplish projects like this yourself. Are you ready? And are you with me? Okay. I have met with, spoken to, and educated a few thousand people over the years about landscaping and landscape design. It is a daunting task when you think about it from a perspective of a layman. Either from your patio slider or outside standing on that cracked up beyond repair patio thinking, how can I do this myself? I'm not sure I can afford a landscape contractor to do this. Well, you can. The following sequences will help you streamline it a little for you and make it clearer in your head and your heart that you can accomplish this yourself. So, one day you decide, maybe with your significant other, maybe on your own, that the front or backyard or both is really in need and ready to be made over or to be installed for the first time. Or maybe for you new homeowners, this is you're looking outside and all you see is dirt with a few weeds popping up now that you've been in the house a few months. Now it's time to put a landscape in. You have decided to do it yourself and have somewhat of a game plan in your head. You have never taken on a project like this before, am I right? Especially of this magnitude. But you tell yourself, hey, you know, I watched Yard Crashers on HGTV. It doesn't look all that hard. Well, it's not if you know how to do it, how to plan it, and how to execute it. You can check the bank account. hey, I got maybe an extra 2 to 4K I can throw at this, I am good to go, right? Before we do that, let's just pump the brakes and wait. Please wait. All projects start up here in our heads. They are an idea that starts really small and grows with time. That time usually is because you maybe research it or talk to friends or family. That time can be anywhere from minutes to hours, days, and I've seen it months and years before people actually do something. Before you go any further, here's what I'd like you to do. Get yourself a notepad or open up your computer and start a document for me. Basically, note-taking should cover all of the following. Here's something. Let me back that up just a little bit. Here is some of the questions, some, not all, but some of the questions I used to ask potential customers when I was designing and contracting. Now, you guys write these down or save the video and refer back to it later. First of all, back or front yard, which direction does it face? What type of exposure does it get? What are your views around there? And what is the theme you're going to want to tackle? 2, what function will the new yard perform for me? And I'm speaking about yourself. What is it going to do for me? Okay. Number 3, what is my lifestyle? Seriously, consider this. What is my lifestyle and how does the landscaping blend with it? In other words, if you're a globetrotter, do you want to have all lawn that has to be mowed every single week? Do you have some fancy vegetables, boxes and stuff that need to be tended to? If you're a globetrotter and you're always gone doing stuff for work or pleasure or whatever, maybe you need to think about that lifestyle and how is it going to apply to the landscape. Number 4, what experience do you have with projects like this? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. How many projects have you done similar to this? 5, what help can I garner to help lighten the load a little bit? Maybe I don't have to do it all myself. Hey, my brother, my dad, in-laws, neighbors, friends at work, maybe you can cook some burgers and have a good time, but put them to work and really lighten that load, okay? Number 6, what tools do I have to start and what tools do I have that's going to take me to completion of the project? If you have just a shovel and rake, you may want to find some more. Number 7, what is my budget? So drastically important. Up here we think $50,000, but in here we think $5,000. What is the difference and how is it going to affect the project overall? Number 8, do my wants and my needs match up to the realistic budget? I have found that sometimes people are tens of thousands of dollars apart between their checking account and what they want to see. Number 9, what time frame am I hoping to meet to not only start, but more importantly, finish the project? 10, is this just my idea or is everybody in the house on board with this project? How do I plan? Here's number 11. How do I plan on doing this on weekends? Or am I going to take a couple of weeks off from work and start and finish the project in one fell swoop? Very important to take into consideration because weekend warriors tend to fade with time. They have a hard week at work and they come home and they've got this blown up yard that they have to tackle first thing Saturday. It takes something that I'm going to talk about in a minute to do that. 12, what elements do I want in the new landscape and how does that match up to the functionality? If you have a monstrous water feature made out of cement that's 8 feet tall that you saw on Pinterest or saw at a nursery somewhere, how does that match up with your decor, the size of your yard, etc.? 13, we're almost there. Will I be here in this house? This is so drastically important. Will I be here in this house 3, 5, or 10 years from now? And how will that affect what level of makeover I will do? And lastly, where am I on the yard maintenance scale? Once I get through with this thing? Have I created a monster that I'm going to be a slave to at least once a week? Or is it something that I can relax and maybe not have to pay attention to every single week? These are some of those small questions that I used to ask folks before I would even consider being hired by them. Where their heads were at. I did not like working for stupid people or people that had pie-in-the-sky ideas and no dollars to back it up. Okay? So you can see there is just a smidgen more thinking that goes into a project like this than just taking out an axe or a chainsaw and ripping and tearing. Now, when you have honestly answered these few questions, honestly answered them, let's turn to the other deciding factor right here. And I'm not kidding. Your heart. And I'm not always speaking about the health of a person. I'm talking, although that is drastically important. You know, if you're sadly out of shape, landscaping is something that is very physically demanding. And I would hate to see anybody get sick or injured as a result of this. Although your health is important, I speak more to the dedication and commitment, your inspiration, and what you have as far as fortitude and incentive to do this. Do you have that fortitude to start, but gosh, more importantly, to complete a project like this? I have completed dozens of landscapes for those folks that thought they could do it themselves, only to become disillusioned, angry, or worse, injured as a result of trying a project like this, getting injured, and then just throwing the shovel down and saying, I'm done. I gotta have somebody do this. It wasn't so much that they couldn't, you know, they could have. They just didn't follow the plan out that most professionals use. And that's what I'm here to tell you a little bit about. That what professional steps are that allows the process to be almost self-guiding. Or they did not know when to turn to a pro for certain parts or certain steps of the project. You know something? Coming out in spring of 2021, I have an ebook, and it's going to be titled Yard Coach Presents Landscaping Simplified. And in the same time frame and in much huger, greater detail, my online course is coming out at the same time. It's going to be called Homescape 1.0, both of which will be out probably in March of 2021. Really let you in on how the professionals do this and the tips and tricks that really make the landscaping process and project itself much easier. And you get professional results at least half the cost. I really stress the need for planning, designing, site observation, material resources, and the occasional professional consulting. I also suggest making sure all parties, and I'm stressing this, all parties in the house are on the same page before you even put a shovel in the ground. Congruency when it comes to function, budget, capabilities, likes and dislikes, lifestyle, and short and long-term goals of the property you currently occupy is paramount to a project's success. I have seen couples nearly divorce, literally divorce, when it boiled down to the color. Get this. The color of the backyard patio cement, and I'm not kidding. In my course, I tell you that story. I strongly ask that you draw a rudimentary sketch and ask a learned nursery professional for advice on plant selection, irrigation, needs, and soil amending. But please, if you're going to exploit the professional knowledge of these people, don't turn around and walk out the front door saying, hey, thanks, pal, and go down to Walmart and buy your plants. Take care of those folks that gave you that information, and then patronize them for years to come, and you will have a pro in your pocket every time you need it, okay? I've seen the other, and it really is rude and extremely demoralizing to the professional that went out and got educated to help people like you, and then you turn around and bounce. Not very nice. When it comes to tools, you can rent, borrow, make some purchases, but don't go hog wild and blow the budget just on tools. I bet if you look around your circle of influence, many of the tools you will need. Heck, maybe you already have someone, but maybe most of the tools you have are already available. Also, know your limitations, both physically, right there, and mentally up here. You are going to save a boatload of money, but don't hurt yourself in the process or others. It's landscaping, it's not worth it. Plus, don't stress yourself out on the scope of such a project. The planning, the education will dumb down and dampen down that stress meter tremendously. I promise you. I really do. You know, even though being a pro for almost 25 years, some areas of landscaping that I have used other professionals because I know my limits are few but important. They were usually large-scale tree removal, large-scale cement finishing, complicated electrical work, obviously utility locating, and really fancy masonry work if it was called for. And finally, large patio covers and awnings that were not made from wood. The aluminum ones and stuff, I didn't get involved in those. So, to summarize, plan, sketch out, hopefully somewhat to scale, locate materials way ahead of time, inventory the tools you have and the ones you may need, and then source those out. Consult a local pro if needed. There's nothing wrong with it, and that's what they're out there for. You may have to pay $1 or $2 though. And more importantly, allocate your time. Time management in these things is paramount. I always suggest the team approach, so get a couple extra hands out there to give you, especially on demo days or concrete days or whatever. You know something? Many hands make lighter work. The site observation for sun or shade exposure is very important. Don't rush out there the first week you get into your house and assume that that's what it's going to look like 6 months from now. Check out for privacy issues. Not only what do you see from your landscape, what do people on the outside look in? Check out my video about views in a landscape. I think you'll find it interesting. Educate a little prior to launch, and finally, dedicate, guys. Dedicate and commit. Check out the 3-part series I do, which includes dedication and commitment. If you want to get great results and not a project that looks like that guy Weekend Warrior house, do what the professionals do. All of the above that I have listed, I am sure your chosen profession has the same marching orders, education, and training behind it too. Think about it. Wiring a house, electrician gets educated, and they plan jobs when they come out to your house. They need materials, they need time, they need sourcing, they need all those things. How about doctors? You know, we all know the doctors get a lot of education, but they assess, they plan, they diagnose, they treat, they prescribe, and they follow up. That's the nature of their business. Business owners do the same thing. So why would anybody go tackle a large multi-thousand-dollar project without thinking it out first? I really hope you guys do as well. Your house was not built without a plan. It was not designed without a plan from the designer. And it certainly was not built without the approval of the government officials that make sure things are done correctly. So why would you willy-nilly this, okay? Hey, staying within the budget is directly proportionate to how much you and your planning has done, and sticking with that plan. Oftentimes, no plan, no budget, and big trouble down the road. I will even go a step further, but only if you are serious about the planning of a project for yourself or someone close to you. I will send you, free of charge, my simple 15-step DIY landscape process. All you have to do is just email me. Email me and I'll send you a personalized copy out as soon as I possibly can, usually within five business days. So if you could use something like that, check out at the end of the video the email and shoot it off to me. All you have to do is put in their step-by-step plan, please. Hey, do me a favor, comment below on anything that I have covered, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for staying with me through the whole video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button, and hey, share it with a family or friend that maybe is considering starting a project themselves. I appreciate you staying. I'm Coach. I'll see you next Friday, not only with more landscape tips and tricks, but our plan of the week. Don't forget to comment below and email me with any landscape questions that you have. Guys, thanks. I'm Coach. You take care.